Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be showing you my tiny treehouse build. Essentially, it's just going to be like a series of tree houses kind of on different hills, because I sort of wanted to play more with the terrain tool. This is going to be a build that is a part of my Hellscape save file. Hellscape is a new project that I'm going to be working on in The Sims kind of in my spare time, and it basically is just going to be an environment where the world has gone to shit, quite frankly. Like, it's going to be like a post-apocalyptic kind of world, so you'll be seeing some weird builds, you'll be seeing some kind of like really nice kind of eco-friendly builds, and then you'll be seeing some kind of like very strange builds that kind of reflect the different cultures that live in the world of Hellscape. So this is just kind of me trying to like figure out how exactly I want the tree houses to look. Like I said, I want everything to kind of have like a different culture. It's also kind of really hard for me to figure out where to put the staircases. The staircases in this game are so fussy, and I really don't like that you have to put it down in order to like get it to turn the direction that you want it to turn. So freaking frustrating. Yeah, so this is just kind of me sort of playing with the environment. I wanted to kind of create like a bunch of stairs. In regards to this build and how it turned out, like I'm not super, I will say like right now, I'm not super happy with how this build turned out, because I don't know why, but the terrain tool apparently doesn't work on raised terrain. And I think that that's very stupid for numerous reasons. So this build ended up looking like way uglier than it normally would have. I probably should have just spent more time kind of going through debug and seeing how I could kind of cover up like the dirt in the walls. I literally couldn't believe that you couldn't like cover up anything. It was so frustrating, because I was just like, that just makes everything look super ugly. I tried to get a little fun here and there. I was trying to put in bridges. So this is me just kind of building bridges, kind of building like the first thing that I wanted to do, and the easiest thing that I knew would be to do was to kind of figure out where I wanted to put my buildings. So right here is basically me just kind of figuring out where I want to put my buildings. And then I wasn't going to put in a body of water, but I kind of just wanted something that was going to go around the edge of the lot that would kind of make it look a little bit nicer, because I mean, at the time I didn't know it, that it was going to be just completely brown and gross, you know, but I didn't want it to look like a giant hill. I thought that that would look awkward. Originally, this was supposed to be kind of a more foresty build. I should have probably, you know, maybe checked for, I don't know, some kind of tools. I'm sure that there's some kind of mod that you can get that would fix that and just would allow you to paint over raised terrain. I think that that's so stupid that you can't paint over raised terrain. Like, because that's what I really want. I want this disgusting, like, brown mud everywhere, you know. Ugh, whatever. This build is going to be on my gallery, so if you know how to figure it out, I mean, maybe my game was just glitching. It was just really annoying. But the build is going to be on my gallery, so you can absolutely like go ahead and mod it and do whatever it is that you need to do with it to get that terrain to kind of fix itself up. So this is me kind of, one of the things that I really like to do in my builds is I also like to put trees and things that you wouldn't expect in bodies of water to be in bodies of water, kind of making a flooded area. I'm also just kind of going through debug to figure out like what I could do for like fencing and railings, and I found these really cool things from Cats and Dogs. You guys know that I only recently got Sims like a little bit of time ago, so I don't have all the expansion packs, so I wasn't used to like finding everything in Cats and Dogs, and the Cats and Dogs stuff, the rope was so cool to put in and use as like the railings for the bridge. So that was really amazing, honestly. Okay, and we're still going here. We're just still kind of adding and trying to figure out how the bridges are going to work, that sort of thing. Then I was trying to figure out how I was going to get a bridge around this other side of the cliff, which was so frustrating because it just wasn't going to do it. So like I kind of had to like micromanage it a little bit in ways that I didn't expect. Oh, and then I couldn't build like a connecting staircase. So I wanted it to be a bridge that connected to a staircase and it just wasn't going to do it. Now in retrospect, I'm thinking if I had added like a little foundation there, it probably would have done what I wanted it to do. Yeah, so just kind of making that tiny little narrow bridge, and then yeah, I was just fussing with this for the longest time, trying to get it to do what I wanted it to do. Sometimes the Sims 4, you know, in comparison to The Sims 2, which is the only other frame of reference I have. I never used The Sims 3. I never really played The Sims 3. But The Sims 4 generally has like better building tools than The Sims. I'm sorry. The Sims 4 has better building tools than The Sims 2, which is what I was used to. So I mean, a lot of things are easy, but damn, like some things that you think would be so easy to execute in The Sims, like just suddenly bugs out on you and everything like that, and that's so frustrating. That's so annoying. But I really love working on this. I really loved, like, in particular, adding, like, the little railings. I thought that that was so cool. So this is me trying to figure out, like, where I should put more of the railings, and then I kind of gave up and I decided, you know what, I won't do that there. This is me, I think, still trying to figure out where to find the smaller dock. And then adding like more grass. Yeah, there's the smaller dock. So I imagine that these people would have like a tiny little place they could go fishing. They can't go out very far, obviously, because like this is the tiniest little like pool river thingy. And you know what I really also wanted, and I don't have, I really wanted to put a waterfall connecting the two ends of the fountains there, but I couldn't. I didn't really have a waterfall. I think that I would get that with like island. Yeah, see, this is me trying to add the waterfall, but it's just not working. And I think that you would get like the waterfall more so with island living, but I do not have that pack. So I was just trying to make do with really what I had. In terms of like what this game uses, I mean, it uses, I'm sorry, what this build uses, it uses cats and dogs. I believe it uses vampires, and then it uses, gosh, what is it? The laundry day. It uses laundry day as well. So I try to keep this kind of like a rustic look. I was sort of kind of going for like a Hobbit-esque vibe. And then I found this, yeah, this really cute little garland thingy right there. So I was gonna like try to put the other end of like the bridge there. So there it is. And so I thought that that was super cute. And then here we are, we're just kind of building the rest of this area. I probably could have put in some kind of, what was it, plants that I could do there. I found this from, I found a lot of things in debug that I apparently hadn't been using. I just recently got like a couple new packs like Get Famous. I've had vampire for a while, but apparently I didn't go through like the vampire debug. So then this is me trying to figure out, a way around essentially the waterfall issue. So I essentially just kind of went and I built some rocks, and I was like, there's a dam there. A random dam that just happened to disconnect the two rivers. I really hated it. Yeah. And then the rocks were just being fussy. This whole debug was just being fussy. Move objects was just being fussy. So this is me just trying to add in more foliage, add in more things that kind of make the environment look really nice. I'm still really mad about the terrain paint. I'm probably going to say that at least like 20 times during this episode. It's funny, like I usually do like these big Sims builds on this channel when I'm feeling like stressed out, and school is about to start for me, so I'm a little stressed out because it starts tomorrow evening for me. So like I'm just trying to figure out, I was just trying to do this kind of as a means of de-stressing, and also because it's like a really easy video to do for the channel, and I don't have to put on makeup, and I don't have to be on camera, and so I really like that. I just don't feel like doing it right now. I also haven't worked out yet, so I was just like, nope, we're just gonna do a Sims speed build today. This is a massive build. It took me 3 hours to do, and I'm still not satisfied with it, and I still, to an extent, think that it's not finished. It, like, needs way more greenery. Yeah. And I love how I call this, like, a tiny treehouse colony, even though, like, there's only 2 tree houses on this entire lot, and you guys will find that, so it's just kind of, it's a misnomer. It's very dumb. So yeah, this is me trying to go through more debug, figure out like what I could add in. There's some interesting things in debug. and different kind of cool little small decoration things that I wanted to incorporate, like that little banner. I'm just going to be shifting it around and around and around throughout the course of this build. I think I want to do like a tiny cottage next. I've been really on like a tiny building kick lately. The lot next door, you might be able to see it. I mean, this video is sped up about 586%. So yeah, you might be able to go next door and kind of see the little other tiny house that I built that's right next door to this lot. And then I think that this is just me. I think I left. I took a break. I took a brief break here. I'm gonna exit through that and kind of scroll forward. Yeah, I took a pretty big break there. Okay. And then when I got back from my break, I was still trying to like reorganize some of the some other things and other stuff. So I was trying to do that. And then I was finally ready to start building the house. And so I wanted to make the houses like a little bit crooked. I wanted to make them a little bit weirder looking. So this is one of the first houses. This is actually like one of the few like true treehouse houses. And then that's me trying to like hide the foundation with the other stuff. This is me like carving out like a teeny tiny pocket square to put a tree. And then I wanted it to be really green. Again, I was kind of going for like a Lord of the Rings sort of Hobbit vibe here. So I was adding in like different things. I was trying to make it look pretty cute. I was trying to make it look really interesting. I curved in basically when you want to make something look a little bit older, you just curve in the roof. Like, I love that. And then I don't normally do kind of the chunky sort of roof trim, but I decided to do that time. And I just kind of kept building around that, and then I put in some goibles, and then I was desperately looking for the baskets, and I kept getting distracted, because you know, that ADD life. Like, I kept getting distracted and like trying to figure out where the heck the little baskets were, because I wanted to hang them off of the little goibles. And then I found like some other interesting like weird debug items, and then I was trying to figure out how to put the ivy in there. Yeah. Let's see. There, I found them. So, yeah. So I was just adding in the little baskets here and there. Yeah, and I really like that. I think that is so cute. I think it's so pretty. And then I was trying to add in a little bit of a fountain trim. I was trying to give it like a little bit of a brick so that I kind of get a little broken away from the brown, because the brown was nasty. So I took away some of the pool, I put it back, and then I believe I go back into debug so that I can go ahead and I can get some more of the rocks to kind of cover that up. So this is just me scrolling through debug. Little Simsy, I noticed she found like a mod that would organize debug for you, and I think that I'm actually going to download it, because when I want to make really interesting builds, I try to go through debug. If I want to make like super detailed builds, kind of like the ones that Simblissy makes, that's when I typically try to use debug. And for things like this, where I'm trying to make something that's a little bit more unique, a little bit more fussy in terms of building, sometimes I don't even use things from debug at all. And I'd rather just kind of work with the environment around me. But this is one of those builds where I was like, oh my god, it would be so nice to have that mod that like helps you organize debug. So I'm probably gonna end up downloading that after later when I'm trying to build more things for this tiny house community. Now about Hellscape. So Hellscape, I've downloaded a ton of mods to just make it just the worst, like most horrendous place to live in. So there's like the Wicked Whims mod, and then there is the there's like a drug or like an addiction mod, so I added that in there. And then I went ahead and I added in some apocalyptic mods, some life tragedies mods, the extreme violence mod, and the zombie mod. So my imagination is that there's these little pockets and these kind of little environments that have emerged after the apocalypse occurred, the titular apocalypse, where I haven't worked out exactly what happened for that there, but zombies kind of roam the world, and gangs have broken out as well, and so it's just kind of a very violent and scary place. And it's also a super green place because, you know, it's the end of the world, and so I'm like, well, no one's going to be necessarily like causing destruction. We're all going to be living in kind of reconstructed houses and homes. I don't know, you know, how far Hellscape takes place after the end of the apocalypse. I kind of think that it's been a couple hundred years. I would like to believe that, so that it's a little bit more... I mean, there's some builds in here where I was just like, yeah, this is like a castle. Like, there's no way that there's a castle in the same place that there's like this super modern home. So that's kind of why I think that they would have like a little bit more flexibility in terms of like how long it's been. And so then that was me. I talked over the top of that entire thing, but that was me kind of building that entire space. And then I was trying to give this person like a little cooking space. So that's just kind of a single family home. There's going to be like a bigger little bedroom in the mess hall. But at the time I was trying to like give everybody their own unique sort of individual little lots and like kitchen spaces, and then I realized that that wasn't gonna work because I just kept fussing with the freaking like roofs and everything, and I just hated it, and it was just really being annoying. The camera angles get to be really annoying when you have things like on different elevations, so I got really annoyed with that, and I decided to just kind of give up. And then I was moving on, and then I decided to move on to an outhouse. So I was trying to make like a little bit of an outhouse area, and then I was trying to debate like whether or not I decided that I wanted kind of the treehouse to be a little bit higher. So yeah, this is the outhouse that I'm building here. Trying to make it look kind of similar to the other house, but not completely identical. I wanted every place to kind of have like its own little vibe. And that's me doing a little bit of detailing. And then I just kind of did like some basic plaster because I was sort of like, I don't really care, you know, on the inside of, I don't think that you would very care much for your outhouse space, right? I don't think that you would care about what was on the walls in your outhouse. It's just where you go to pee. It's where you just go to use the bathroom. And then I was trying to like lay that flat, but it jutted out too far from the wall, but so I hated it. I was trying to add columns to make it look a little bit better, but I hated it, so I decided to go in here, and then I was just trying to make it look as rustic and kind of like undone as I possibly could. And then I was originally going to make like kind of different bathroom stalls, but I decided against that, I think, and I decided to just kind of cram everything in different spaces. So I was gonna put like my shower and my bathtub there, and I decided against that, so I put my little I put my shower out, and then I put the toilet in the bathtub, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, you know, I tried to do counters, but I hated how the counters look, so I just did that. And then I was still trying to figure out like little different things to add, and then I put in some laundry day. They've got a wash basin, they've got that kind of thing. I was trying to figure out like a little overhang to put over that wall there that didn't look ugly, but it's unfortunate because everything looked ugly. So I decided to go with that smaller little thing from Cats and Dogs, that little overhang there, which I think looks way better. And then I tried to like add another little basket, but the basket wasn't gonna fit. It kept clipping in through the through the roof, so I tried against that. And then yeah, this is me trying to figure out like why the heck the friggin' there was like a little brief moment where I was like trying to figure out why the friggin' like terrain paint wouldn't work. And then I do eventually change this. I wanted to make this look a little bit awkward, but then I hated how the roof looked. So I get rid of that kind of awkward angle. I thought that for a second that I was going to be able to use like this little couch from Cats and Dogs in there, but it ends up being that it really needs like a wider space. Like it's not a 2-tile couch, it's like a 3-tile couch. And then I decided to put just like an overlooking little window there. But I eventually kind of just come to hate this entire space, and I kind of like renovate this whole place. This place that I'm building right here, this is what I refer to as the mess hall. So it's got the bigger bedroom. I believe that what I did is that I housed like 2 parents, so it's got a double bed in there, and then it's got a single bed for the kid. So we'll see that later. But yeah, I was trying to make that look, and then I just eventually just kind of hated it. And it was so tall compared to the rest of the place, but I haven't gotten to that point where I was fixing it yet. And then, yeah, just trying to add. And then I finally was like, okay, nope, you know what? I need to add my last little house here. So then this is like the little awkward house. And I kept trying to add that little overhang thingy, but the little plant overhang thingy, but it just wasn't working. And then I decided to make this other one a treehouse, because this is actually supposed to be like a series of tree houses. I was really, really failing on the whole this is a treehouse aspect. And then if you guys remember, I kind of put like a little wraparound around the backside, so I decided to put like a horseshoe game down there, but you can potentially put like another house down there. You could put like other kind of equipment. I just figured that that would be like a fun place to kind of go and hang out at. And then this is me trying to fit like a rock underneath the staircase, something that would kind of support that staircase, which is just floating in midair, but I believe I gave up on that. There were a lot of things that I just eventually gave up on this build. And then I kind of hate that, but I wanted them to have a place where they could overlook, because look at how pretty like this place is. You know, you could look into the fountain below, you could look into the ponds below, you can look at the river, you can look out across the city. So I was like, nah, there needs to be like some kind of balcony space here. And then this is me just trying to build everything. I was trying to figure out where to put that little banner. It wasn't working. I decided I put a little campfire up here. So yeah, I lied. So this does use another pack. It uses like the wilderness or the great outdoors whatever pack. And then this is me getting really mad that I can't find like a matching staircase color. That was fun. Yeah, tiny treehouse city. It's not even a treehouse city though. Like, there's only 2 treehouses, so it's a total misnomer. I just kind of went into this and I was like, I want to build like houses on stilts. I want to build houses that are really tall, that you can only access with like ladders and things like that. Yeah, and then I'm just still kind of trying to build this space. I decided that this space was just going to be their entertainment space. It's the furthest up on the hill. It's like the least accessible space. So I was like, you know what, this is just going to be kind of where they hang out. And then this is me still trying to figure out like what to do with the mess hall. I decided to kind of make it like a bright red color, although I wasn't going to do that originally. I didn't want to make anything. I've got something against like barn textures in The Sims, but then I was like, but like, you know, I really like the red kind of contrasting like all the green and things like that, so you can absolutely change it. I mean, whatever, right? And then this is me figuring out that I can't use that cute little thing from Cats and Dogs, and I was really sad about it. So I'm still just trying to figure out the mess hall space. You know, you've got like your little outhouse, but you have to have a place where you can eat, where you can cook. So I'm trying to figure out kind of like how to orient the space in here. And I really liked it because it was kind of tiny, but then I was sort of like, well, this is sort of like hard to navigate. You know, I'm trying to add in different counters and cabinets and trying to make the most of the space so that you can cook, so you can do other things. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to like put the sink in there, so I think that I just got a random stone sink and I put it over there just so you can like turn in your dishes and then put them away. And then this is where I was kind of building the dining room table and the dining area, and I really love adding like mismatched chairs in The Sims, and particularly in some of these older style builds like this. And then this is me realizing that like they can't all sit and eat there, so I had to move things. So I decided to make this like way, way bigger. And then I was upset with that little tail because I was like, it's so awkward. It's just not doing anything for me. It's just making things more frustrating. So I got rid of it and I just made it square, which is super boring. But you know, sometimes like boring is okay for functionality. And then I decided that it would be fun if like you had to walk through the mess hall to get to the upper floor, to get to like the fun space. So I built it so that the mess hall you have to walk through in order to get to the little staircase that will take you up to the fun space, and the bridge that will take you up to the fun space. And then this is me just trying to figure out where I want to put like other things. So I'm trying to figure out like window placement. I'm trying to figure out a ton of things here in regards to sort of making this space make sense, because I knew that I wanted to have the adults live up here and then like any kind of young children. I was originally planning for a baby, and then I was like, babies can't do anything. Like, a baby can't climb down a ladder. So you would not want to raise a toddler here unless you want to, you know, convert the mess hall into a complete, like, full-on house and have, you know, have, like, a baby's room on the bottom floor and then have the, other, like, bedrooms up on the top floor or something like that. So this is not a very, like, toddler-friendly or baby-friendly build at all. Child, sure, like, you can have, like, young children here, even teenagers. You can kind of use that first little house down the hill, you can use that as the teenager's house. And then I was trying to add, like, a little bit of gardening spaces and things like that, because I figured that they would have gardening spaces. That's me trying to add in, like, a little mirror and things like that. And then I was trying to figure out where I wanted to put that easel, because I was like, there's no skill building, like, what are they gonna do up here? So then this is just me trying to figure out, like, what I want to do with this little house. And I decided essentially, officially at this point, I decided that I was going to make this into, like, just the fun space. So I'm adding in just different things that would kind of make it fun. I tried to put, like, the little, what is it, the friggin' toy box downstairs, but then I kind of hated it, and then I was like, well, wait a minute, like, what if I converted this whole space upstairs into, like, a little playhouse for the kids? So I just kind of added those building blocks for sort of decoration. I add some toys sometimes just for decoration and not for practical purposes. That's like a little activity table so then the kids can play, and then I put up a little jukebox in case people want to dance, and then I put up some chairs. So I was just like, you know, you can have fun up there, you can have that space, you can make it your own. I'm realizing now that I forgot to add any kind of windows to that space, so that was probably bad. So like I said, I'm gonna need to go back and I'm gonna need to add way more. And then I'm trying to add more windows to the mess hall, and I'm trying to add something, and I realize I can't add a window that like faces the front of the lot, so then I decide that I'm gonna add in some ivy to sort of make it a little bit pretty. And then adding in some other things that kind of make it look old. I'm adding like a lot of things in from the vampire stuff pack, water stains, scratches, things like that, that kind of indicate that this space has been lived in for a long, long time. I figure that these tiny tree houses are kind of old. If the apocalypse happened 200 years ago, then this space is maybe about like 75 years old, so there's gonna be like some holes, there's gonna be some problems here. Now this is me finally trying to take care of the parents' space and the small child's space. So I wanted to go with that craft bed, but then nothing was matching, and so then I decided to go with this bed, although it's boring and I hate it, but I decided to just go with it. And then I'm trying to figure out how to kind of give them their own separated spaces. I'm like alt placing windows, I'm trying to figure out what I need to do here. And then this is kind of the part of the build where, like, I've officially sort of given up, honestly. Like, I'm not adding as much detail as I normally would add. I was just really like frustrated, and I was just like, nothing's gonna look the way that I want it to look. You know, the terrain paint isn't working, so everything looks ugly and nasty. And then this is me trying to figure out like how to give the kid his own separate space, because I was like, you know, your parents, like, you wouldn't want to see them doing things, if you catch my drift. And then I decided to add like a little bit of artwork here and there. I didn't really decorate the play place. Again, like, I was kind of I was depressed. Quite frankly, I was like, I can't use terrain paint, so everything looks super nasty. Maybe I'll go back through when I'm in a better mood, and I'll remake this like a little bit. But then yeah, this is kind of the finished product here. So here are some of the screenshots. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like. It really does help the channel out. Also, consider subscribing to the channel, and when you subscribe, be sure to hit the notifications bell so you get updates on when I upload future episodes. Without further ado, thank you all so much for watching. Bye! Special shout out to Patreons AceWolf741, Deep Dive Dylan, Brian White, Caleb Putnam, and Robin Harper.